little different type of radio today. This comes into the realm of information and entertainment. It's not a transmitter, it's just a receiver. This is what they call a multi-band Bluetooth capable music player. What I use it for is to listen to shortwave and some other odds and ends. And we'll put it on scan and see if we can pick something up here. The nice feature about this little radio from Radioddity, it does have an app, so I can control all these little functions with these little teeny buttons, and these big old fingers don't work very well. I control all the functions from my phone. So let me get the app up and we'll set things up here and we'll talk about this a little more. Okay, the way this works is it has an app that connects to the radio, so I can do all my channel selection, scanning, all that good stuff from my phone. That way I'm not having to maneuver these little buttons. It can be done with these little buttons. I'm sure if you have the patience to do it, this is a little bit easier. There are some videos out there on how to use it. I use it as a sort of a scanner at night to listen to radio stations up in Canada. There's still a few shortwave stations in the southeast. Every once in a while I get some overseas broadcasts. So let me show you how I set up the antenna and how I listen to it. Okay, let's hook up our antenna to our receiver here. It's basically just a wire with a little loop on there at one end, an alligator clip on the other. I just pull out the antenna a little ways, clip it on, try to spread my wire out up and horizontally. That way it will pick things up. Right now we're tuned into the weather channel, or the weather service. Let's turn up the volume.
Thunder Bay, it was mostly sunny.
You can pick up your weather band.
Elsewhere, skies ranged from mostly
I'll
sunny to partly sunny.
bring the app back up.
It was 78 at International Falls, 72 at Duluth, and 84 at Minneapolis.
We changed it. That's the FM. VHF. I'd have to tune around and see if I can pick anything up on that one. A little music there, but we don't want to get a copyright strike, so
10 to 15 show up
AM.
regularly.
More shortwave. Scan through that. I mean, you do spend a little bit of time scanning, but once you scan, you have a way of remembering channels. Then you can flick through the channels and on the app. So what other band we got here? Back to weather band. So I look at this as a information, entertainment. After a storm or something like that, or during a storm or before a storm, the weather service does usually a pretty good job of updating things of what's going on. Local information quite often is spread on AM channels more often than the FM channels, but the FM channels sometimes have a little more reach, so that's still viable. If you don't want to get into your vehicle and listen, not a lot of us have transistor radios anymore in their houses. The way of the radio is kind of gone. This thing, easy enough to pack away in your stuff. It charges with USB, so it's easy enough to charge if you got any kind of battery bank that you want to charge it up with. And practicing with it to listen to foreign countries like Canada or Mexico, they do have English programming, so you'll be able to hear stuff. It's a good way of learning the radio. It's just another skill in the book. Also you listen to news from Canada or from Mexico if it's English speaking. You can get their point of view as opposed to what our media is saying their point of view is. So if you're not going onto the internet to get your information because your system's down or whatever, this might be another option to get some information or entertainment. You get music from all over the world. There are some shortwave programs that do mystery theaters and stuff like that. There's an awful lot of religious programming. So if you're feeling spiritually challenged, that might fill your bill too. So it's not expensive, doesn't take up a whole lot of space. Something you might think about having in your toolbox. Take it with camping. You're out in the middle of nowhere, and you're getting tired of tooling through your phone because it keeps refreshing because you don't have good cell service. Well, hook this up into a tree. Bring it down to your campsite. You might listen to something that you might not normally listen to at home because you don't have another option. If you're bugging your spouse or the people around you, you can put in the earphones and go that. That's the only thing that's drawback is the little app controls the radio, but you still have to listen to it through the radio. So you're either going to end up plugging in the earphones or listen to the little speaker or plugging it into another speaker if you really want to make it loud. So, but it's something kind of cool, something interesting, something different. 50, 60 years ago, houses still had some shortwave radios in it. When I was overseas, we listened to some shortwave stuff. That's how they work in some of those places, especially back in the 80s and the early 90s. So something kind of cool. It's a little of the Raddy multiband radio. I'll have the link in the description below. Check it out. It might be something fun.